Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome. So glad to be back for another live Stampin' Saturday. Sorry I missed last week. Okay, I'm just going to go over to my Facebook page here and make sure that you can actually see me. Get that to come up. Make sure it's actually pulling and that's what I get feedback. There we go. All right. Hello. Okay, so I hope everyone is having a good weekend so far. I know it's kind of just into the weekend, but anyway. And I hope you had a great week. And today I should introduce myself just in case there's anyone that hasn't seen before. My name is Jen from Stampin' with Jen. And today we're going to make a very cute little card using the Sweet Strawberry bundle. So if you haven't seen that, this is the Sweet Strawberry stamp set. And I really like the little sentiments in this. It's really cute. And some strawberries with some leaves and some little flowers. I like that guy. And then this is the Strawberry Builder Punch. Can't get it so it's not shining there. There we go. So you've got strawberry, the little leaves that go on top of the strawberry, the leaves from the plant and the flowers from the plant. And that coordinates with these guys. Let me move my card out of the way and then I can show you this a little bit. There we go. So the strawberry punches that out. This punches out the top of the strawberry. This punches out the leaves, and this punches out the little flowers. So those coordinate together quite nicely. We're going to use those today to make this card. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually some glitter on the strawberries there too. We can't really see it. Anyway, that's what we're making today. So I'm just going to set that up there for reference. And what you will need today is a piece of basic white cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to fold that over and use my bone folder. Give a nice crisp fold on that. Set that aside there. We'll need 3 other pieces of white. So this one is 4 inches by 3 inches. That's going to be this piece on the card. And then these are to cut out the strawberries and tops. So this one is 4 inches by 1.5 inches. And we're going to stamp the tops on there and punch them out. And then this one is 5 inches by 1.5 inches. And we're going to stamp the strawberries on there and then punch them out. So we have that. And then we have a piece of pale papaya that's 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and that's going to be this little layer in here. And this is from the hand penned DSP. Some cute flowers on the other side, but we're going to use this side so it coordinates with our papaya. And that is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. We form this one over here. There. Okay, and then you will need, obviously, the stamp set and the punch. And I'm going to use some black ink, real red ink, garden green ink, and then an old olive marker and a pale papaya marker to color in those. And I think that's everything you will need. So let's get started. Where should we start? Let's start with the strawberries. I'm just going to roll my sleeves here. Have a second. Because otherwise, they're going to end up in an ink pad. There we go. Get those out of the way. Okay. Let's start by doing our strawberries. I'm just going to pull the top off this so we only have to do the crinkling one. There we go. No more crinkling. Okay. Good morning, Carla. It is so sweet. I know it's a fun joke to repeat. I said it's a so sweet card. Yeah, it's just a fun joke. Anyway. Okay, so strawberries. So I'm going to stamp the outline first. So I'm gonna stamp the outline and then we're gonna fill it in with this stamp here. So let's start with the outline. Put that stamp on our block and get our basic black ink. How's your week, Carla? Are you still stupidly busy, or are things calming down a little bit? Okay, so we're gonna stamp 3 strawberries across here. I'm just gonna start with one in the middle. And then I can put one on either side. The spacing doesn't really matter as long as you have enough room to punch them out. There we go, clean off that stamp. And lid on that guy, because otherwise, I end up with fingers or elbows or something in it, who knows. Okay, and then we're gonna get this solid stamp that's the same shape, and our real red ink. And we're gonna fill in our strawberries. Now, this doesn't line up absolutely exactly. It's really close, but not absolutely completely precise. So don't worry that it's not, you know, in the lines exactly. And I'm just gonna, I like doing it this way when it's a solid stamp because then I can see how much ink is on here. And also one thing to mention, the stamp is designed to have kind of a gradation of color. So you're gonna see darker color around the outside and lighter color in the middle. That's the way it's supposed to go. The cat is on the mend. What happened to your cat? Okay, so here's our real red. And we will fill in our first strawberry. And we're just going to do that 2 more times. Oops, get off the block there. And next strawberry. There, and 1 more. Come here again. There we go. And last strawberry. One thing I didn't mention is just make sure with this, you press down firmly, and I just kind of ran my finger over the top just to make sure we get all the color on the strawberry there. We want them nice and bright red. I don't know if you can hear it, but my Stampin' chamois always squeaks when I'm cleaning the stamps. I find it amusing. Okay, and one other thing, just in case you have never used these stamps before, if this is your first time with the photopolymer stamps, you'll see that stamp still looks kind of red. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can kind of see a pink sheen to it there. The first time you use them, they do kind of stain a little bit, but I assure you it is clean and it's safe to use again. Okay, so we'll put our strawberry back there. And let's do our leaf tops. So for this, I'm going to stamp this guy in the black, and then I'm going to fill it in with this guy in the green. So we'll get our outline. And we'll get our black ink back. And again, I'm just going to put 1 in the middle and then 1 on either side. Just get a decent amount of ink on there. And again, the placement doesn't really matter because we're going to be punching this out. We just need to get 3 of them on this piece of cardstock. Clean that stamp off. And black ink away again for a moment. And now I'm going to switch. I got some black ink on my block. There we go. Oh, better. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to this solid stamp. It's this stamp here. Get that on my blocks at least close to straight, and get our garden green ink. And then so we're just going to do the same thing we did with the strawberries. We're just going to ink up, and again, it's got a kind of gradient of color on it. It's not going to fill in evenly with the color. That gives it more of a kind of a realistic look to it. Fill in our leaves here. Up the best we can there. And again, they're not exact. Don't worry that the color is, you know, inside or outside the lines a little bit. I'm going for creativity here, not perfection, thankfully, because I never get things straight when I put them on. need one more set of leaves. There. I'll leave that guy off. My green away. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So now I'm gonna set my block aside. We're gonna get our punch. In just case this is the first time you're using one of these, they have this little lock on the back here. So right now I can't, it doesn't move. I can't do anything with it. But if I just slide that, it opens up and I'm going to be able to use that. So let's start with the leaves since they're right here. So I'm just going to line that up. And what I do, sometimes I have trouble getting it lined up. So I just kind of push down lightly, not all the way, just enough pressure to hold the cardstock still. And I can see it's not quite lined up at the bottom there. So I'm just going to move this around a little bit until I get it where I think it's pretty much centered. Okay, and then flip it over and punch it out. Okay, and then, oops, it didn't work. I didn't push down hard enough. 1 second. Okay. I'm having trouble. There we go. Okay, and you're probably going to get some extra bits because the cardstock will be on some of these other bowls. That's okay. As long as you get your leaf, it doesn't matter about the extra bits. You can remove those. I'm just going to use my scissors to trim this end bit off. I meant to do this the other way on here and I completely forgot. See, if I'd done it that way, it would all slide through, but I forgot. So we're going to have to do it like this. There, and okay, second one. And trim that bit off. I might have to do a little trick to get this last one in here. Oh, there we go. I got just enough cardstock to hold it at the bottom. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing there. Okay, get this third one lined up and punched out. There we go. That. Okay. And we'll clean up these little bits. Put them off to the side and there we go. So what happened there is my punch didn't fully open because there was a little piece of cardstock cut inside. So I just kind of wiggled it a bit to get that cardstock loose. And now it's fine again. So we're going to do our strawberries. And again, we'll just slide this in here. Line it up around the strawberry and punch it out. And you're going to get other bits again. Don't worry, just ignore them. We'll get rid of them when we're all done here. Middle strawberry. There, and the last one. And there we go. Okay. And then to close this, if you don't already know, push it down and slide that back, and now it stays closed and it's a lot easier to store. Okay, there is my strawberries. Just get all these extra little bits out of here. Okay, ooh, and one thing I forgot to put on the list of supplies is some Tombow adhesive, which the liquid glue that I'm going to use for these glues. I'm just going to grab that. It's right behind me here. And you have yours handy. Go ahead and grab it. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of these tops of the strawberries, and then I'm going to set them aside for a minute, let it kind of partially dry. I find if I glue stuff down when this is wet, it kind of swooshes everywhere and you might end up with a bit of glue on your front of your card. But if we let it dry partially, and it doesn't do that, and it just sticks. All right, so now I'm just going to carefully grab these by the stem and just set them off to the side out of the workspace. Maybe if I can do that. There, one more. Okay, And we can also set our strawberries aside just for the moment. We'll put those together in a minute. Get my scissors out of the way. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to build the card base. So we want our folded piece of white. And then the first thing we're going to put on is our piece of pale papaya cardstock. So I'm just going to run some double-sided Stampin' seal around the outside of this. Like that, and this just gets centered on the front of the card. And at least approximately centered and approximately straight. There, and then next is our piece of designer paper. So we'll just flip it over and again, just run the Stampin' seal around the outside of that. There, and center this over the papaya layer that we just put on. On there, something like that. It's at least close to straight. Okay. And so now you can set this aside and get this last remaining piece of white. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to stamp some leaves and flowers in our sentiment. And then we can put everything together. So I'm going to use this stamp here that's got the leaves and flowers. That. Put that on my block. And get my black ink back. Lift that up. And so with this, I stamped it twice, once kind of fully on the cardstock and once partially off the cardstock. So I'm going to put this back. And also I'm putting the stem kind of toward the middle so it's hidden somewhat by the strawberries. So I'm going to stamp this. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. And down here. Like that. And then I'm going to put more ink on this. Cheat a little bit. I'm going to flip this up to my messy cardstock. I'm going to stamp this again, but I'm going to kind of allow the flowers to go off the side a bit and just do part of the image. Because we want to make sure that we're leaving room over here for sentiments. I'm just going to go off to the side a little bit. Like that. There we go. Clean off our flowers. And while we've got our black ink out, we might as well stamp our sentiment. So I used the one that says "That was so sweet of you," but there's several other sentiments in there. So you use the one that you like. And we'll get that. And I'm going to set it on here and get it kind of straight. There. And in the ink, now get ink on my thumb, of course, because you can only prove you've been crafting if you have ink put on your fingers. There we go, and add our sentiment over here. So I'm doing it, so you can see, kind of about 2/3 of the way up in this sort of larger space here. There, clean that off, and put our black ink away. And then we're going to color in our leaves and flowers here. So I used old olive and pale papaya. I know the pale papaya isn't really the color that strawberry flowers are. They're actually usually white, but I didn't want to leave them plain white. So I'm going to use pale papaya for the flowers. And then you can use garden green marker if you like for the leaves. I decided to do the leaves on the plant a different color from the leaves on the top of the strawberry. Okay, get these guys colored in here. Carla, I can see your comment. That is so true, but I can't remember what I said that you're saying is true. Sorry, I'm not entirely awake this morning, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm saying. And I don't know if you can see, I had a bit of overlap on the leaves here because I wasn't really paying attention to where I was placing them, but that's okay. It still looks all right. I'll just color it in. It'll be fine. There, and on to the next ones. I really need to start preparing little anecdotes to tell while I'm coloring. I always forget that while I'm coloring, of course, you can't hear anything if I'm not talking. And I don't want you to think that the sound is broken. So we really need to, prepare some really bad jokes or some old stories or something. One of these days I'll remember. And last leaf. There we go. And then our pale papaya marker. Yes, you should be laughing at me, Carla. It's that sort of morning. And we're going to color in our flowers here. And I say this a lot, that it's your card, so do it how you want, but it's true. So I'm using pale papaya, but if you want your flowers to be a different color, you color your flowers a different color. One more. There we go. Okay. It's got our flowers colored. So now we can put our Stampin' seal on the back side of this piece. And around the edge here. And then this is, make sure I got this right. Yep. This is going to be centered on our card front. I don't know if you can see when I made my sample yesterday, it actually kind of angles that way. So today I'm going to try and get it straight. We'll see. I showed that one to my husband yesterday. He's like, is it supposed to be crooked? No, dear. No, it's not. Okay. I think we're a little closer to straight today. There we are. Okay. So just going to set that aside for 1 second, and we're going to get our strawberries. Bring our strawberries back in here and the tops. And so I'm just holding it by the stem because I didn't put glue on the stem. And then I'm just going to place the top right near the top of the strawberry and just press down gently and do that on the other two. And if you wanted to add a bit more to your card, you should say there's these flowers and leaves in the punch as well. I didn't use those on this card, but you could punch some out and add those to the card here if you wanted to add a bit more to your card front. So this next strawberry, there's number 2, and last strawberry. And so you'll notice with the Tombow, if you haven't used it before, that it still sticks just fine. All I did by letting it dry a bit is just make it so it doesn't squish out the sides and come onto our strawberry here. So that's that. Okay, so now we need to attach the strawberries. And I'm going to do that with dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 on each strawberry. You probably don't need, probably could do 1, but I like having 2 on there. Except for this last one, I am going to just cut a little bit out of the edge here and use that. Because I don't like to waste anything, so pick it out the edge. There we go. And now before I take the backing off of these, I'm going to just kind of get them placed on here how I want them. And go ahead and have them go off the white. As long as they don't go beyond the border of your card, that's fine. You want it to fit in the envelope, but it can go ahead and hang over the papaya leaves. That's perfectly fine. And that gives you a little bit more room to play with. I think I don't want to see those flowers, so let's bring that one down there. Okay, down there. There, that works. I think we'll do that. Okay. So now I'm just going to take the backings off these one at a time and put it back at least approximately where it was. There, next one. There, oops, stuck my thumb. And third one. I'm kind of changing my mind here on this one. Put it down. Yeah, we'll put it like that. There we go. Something like that. This is not an exact science. Let me get my bits out of the way. So, finishing touches on the card. I'm going to add some champagne rhinestones if I can pick them up. Maybe. There we go. So I did, on this, I did a big one and a couple of medium ones, but if you want to do more or different sizes, you go right ahead. Down there, and make sure you get the adhesive with it. And up there. And then, last but not least, we have our wink of Stella. Thanks, Carla. It is a really easy card to make, and it is, I think, pretty. This was actually, I found one online. Cannot remember the lady's name. Stesha Bloodhart, I think was her name. And she had one, a similar layout, but different colors and embellishments. But I liked her layout, so I borrowed that. Yes, it is very easy. And so our final thing, you don't have to do this, but I like my wink of Stella. So I'm gonna just go over my strawberries with wink of Stella. And I find it also brings out the color a little bit. So this is just gonna add a little bit of shimmer to them. And also, like, as I say, I find it just makes the color stand out a little bit better. Over this one. And just in case you haven't used this before, so the wink of Stella is just like a glitter pen, essentially. It paints on glitter. And on the handle here, there's the word push. So as I'm painting, I'm just squeezing very gently where it says push. And that allows the glitter to come out. And get our last strawberry there. And we are done. There is our so sweet little card that somebody would probably really appreciate. And I appreciate that you were able to join me today. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy your card. And feel free to use this layout and use different stamp sets. If you didn't use a different one today, then go ahead and try it with other things. I like doing that. I just take the layout. I'm just going to move that rhinestone because I don't like it. There we go. I do that a lot with my cards. I take a layout that I like and I'll find something else that has, you know, something approximately this size that cuts out and just use the layout with some different colors and different stamp sets. So again, thanks for joining me. I will be back next Saturday for another edition of Stamping Saturday. I hope you have a lovely week. And, oh, Judy, still working. Did you have a question, Judy? Because I'll wait a minute. I'll just hang out here for a minute and make sure you're okay there. I don't want to run away if there's questions. Sorry, my tenant's dog. So you can probably hear him barking. I just want to make sure Judy's okay and got everything she needs there before I go away. All right. Okay, perfect. Judy's okay. All right, so thanks again, everybody, and I will see you next Saturday. Have a great week.